Hey everyone, this is Stephanie again. I'm doing a video here to show you how to basically take one of the sample cards from Layer on the Samples and turn it into one of the sticky labels like I use. So you're going to start by going to Layer on the Samples and find the sticky card that you want. I'm going to do some for caramel apple mixers. Ignore my notifications for right now. They never stop. So I'm going to use this new mixer with Johnny Appleseed because I made some of those. They look really great. I'll post pictures of them when I'm done. So I already downloaded this and it's right here. So I'm going to click on that and then you get this page, okay? So the first thing that you're going to do is zoom way in, make it big so that you get one full sample card on your screen, okay? So there's one full sample card, okay? And then I'm going to screenshot it as soon as that goes away. Alright, so I've got a full one there, and I have a print screen button on my computer keyboard. That's what I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick print screen, and that's going to give me a screenshot. Then I'm going to go to Paint.net, which I showed you how to download in previous versions of these videos. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to do Edit, paste in new image, and there's my card. There's my full screen. So now I'm going to take this card and I'm going to crop it using this little tool up here, the little square tool. I'm going to come up and I'm going to crop this card to the size that I want. Okay? So right about there. Right? Image, crop to selection, and then you have just that card. Okay? Now I'm going to do File, New, and I want a new one. So the first thing I'm going to do is change this to 300 because I always like a really good resolution, and 300 is really great for anything that you're going to print. So I'm going to change the resolution to 300, and then width is 4 inches, height is 2 inches, because that's how big our label is. Okay, so 300, 400, 2 inches. Or 300, 4 inches, 2 inches. Hit OK, and there's your new, this is your full size label. Okay, I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit. I'm using like 3/4 of my screen instead of the full thing so that I can do the video capture. Okay, so now I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to take, these are in my way, I'm going to take half of this. Okay, so I'm going to take this half just a little bit past the line, edit, copy, and I'm going to come back to this one, edit, paste in new layer. Keep canvas size, always keep canvas size. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it over here. And I'm going to shrink it just so it's just tall enough to fit on there. And I'm actually going to leave a little bit of room, extra room over here on the side, like that. And then I'm going to come back here to this one, and I'm going to grab the other side of it. And you'll see why I'm doing it weird like this here in a minute. Edit. Copy, edit, paste a new layer. Keep canvas size. Alright, so now I'm going to bring this over here, and I want the lines to match up, which I'm going to have to make this a little bit smaller to do. Now when you're making something smaller or bigger, you see me come down here and grab the corner. What you're not seeing is that I'm holding down the shift button while I do that. If you just grab the corner, it's going to shrink and it's going to change the ratio of whatever your picture is, but if you hold the shift button, it's going to keep your ratio. So I'm holding down the shift button, and then I grab this and I'm going to make it smaller, so now hopefully it's about the same size as this one. Looks like I need to make it just a little bit bigger. This is not the easiest way to do this, or actually I'm not sure if this is the easiest way to do this. This is how I do it though. So let's make it just a tiny bit bigger. Right there, that looks good. Okay, then I'm going to move it over to here so that it's in the corner. Get these colors out of my way, get these layers out of my way. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little box and I'm going to select just the edge of this, okay? And then once I've selected that, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to use this little triangle, move selected pixels, okay? And then I'm going to grab this little bar on the edge because that's going to stretch what I have within my box, okay? And it's going to stretch these lines. I'm going to take that and I'm going to stretch it clear to the edge, okay? So now I got my lines all nice and pretty. Now I'm going to come in, you can do this one of two ways, okay? You can bring your layers box back over and you can go to layer 2, which is where our thingy is, our apple picture, and let's move that layer up so now it shows up again and you can see my lines aren't so perfect anymore. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase these top lines so that my lines are all pretty, okay? So 45 is good. So basically all I'm doing is erasing the top layer and the bottom layer is disappearing. Or I'm erasing the top layer and so the bottom layer is showing through, okay? And you'll see once I go over this little line here at the bottom, it'll show up even though I'm erasing because I'm erasing the top layer. Alright, so now we got that. Now I'm going to come back to this layer with the Scentsy side on it, and now it's not centered anymore, okay? And I actually don't want this line right here either because I'm going to fold them in half and that line's not my halfway mark anymore, so let's erase that line too while we're here. You got to make sure you're on the right layer when you're erasing anything, okay? So since I have two layers here. I've got the one with the caramel apple and I've got the one with the Scentsy, okay? I want the one with the caramel apple to erase this layer, or this line, okay? So I'm just going to get in here and I'm going to erase. See you later. Nice knowing ya. And it's gone. Okay? So now what I want to do is I want to go back to the Scentsy layer and I'm going to take this part and I'm just going to move it more centered. Okay? So edit, cut, edit, paste in new layer, and I'm going to move this. And actually, yeah, we're going to move it to right about there. Okay, so now you have your label all done. What you want to do next is go to Image, Flatten. Okay, so now there's you can see it all went into one layer now. And you're going to File, Save As, and save it as a JPEG somewhere. Let's go to JPEG. Alright, so here's some other ones that I've done. So I'm going to save this to caramel apples and save it as JPEG. Okay? And it'll tell you it's formatting, blah, blah, blah. You've got it saved. Okay, so now you're done with Paint.net. You don't need Paint.net anymore. Basically, all we used Paint.net from was to take a created card and make it into a size and single JPEG that we can use for a sticker. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and minimize Paint.net. And we're going to go back into, where do we want to go? Okay, Stephanie's Smelly Good Stuff. There's a sticky label template for samples in Stephanie's Smelly Good Stuff. If you download that, then you will get this. Okay? This is the template. It's already all set up and everything. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come in here, and if you should be able to click the box for your information, and then you should be able to click the label. Okay, you can do either one. So we're going to click the label because we don't want to print Sunkissed Citrus. We want to print caramel apples. Okay, so click that box. You can either hit your delete button and delete it, or you can right click and delete it. I think. No, you can't do it that way. So just find your delete button and do it that way. Okay, so then we're going to come up here, back to this box. We're going to hit Insert, Picture. And we're going to find the picture of the one that we just did. Okay, so here it is, caramel apples. There it is. So Insert, and there it is. Now, what you want to do, because you can see it didn't line up perfectly on your template, okay? So what you want to do is right click and then go to Wrap Text and do In Front of Text, okay? And then once you do that, you can move the label to wherever you want on the screen. Okay, so now you can see that it kind of filled up that space. And then once you've moved it, you can do move to back. There's somewhere that you can, bring to front, send to back right here. So we want to send it to back. And it goes to the back. Then this part comes back up in, and you can put in your name and change it to whatever you want, whatever font you want, make it work, and put it in there. I don't like how little the Scentsy is on this, so something that you could do is come in here to your Paint.net, come back to this, and you could make this bigger. Now what I would actually do is delete it, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to refill it with some white so that it's full. And then I have all the Scentsy logos saved. File, open, and I'm going to come into Scentsy and logos, and I want not that one. I want the trio. And I always do the high resolution ping, and I want the black one. So that's this one right here. Open, it's gonna be huge. Okay, so this spot right here that I want to be able to put this in is about that big, right? So it's probably, if we go to canvas size, we know that our height is 600 and our width is 1200, and this is about a quarter of that. So I'm going to shrink this logo a little bit smaller than a quarter. So I'm going to do the 300 by 600, and then I'm going to take another 100 off of it. So that's what I'm going to do, just so you know what I'm thinking here. So I'm going to do 200. Image, resize, and it's already 300 resolution. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this height to 200. And it's going to automatically, because I have maintain aspect ratio clicked, it's going to automatically change this to the right width, okay? And I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to grab it, edit, copy, go back to my label, edit, paste in new layer. Now I have a much bigger Scentsy logo. Now I don't actually want the stars because I want to be able to use more room, so I'm going to come in here and erase the stars too. Which I don't have the one with no stars saved because I just erased the stars when I want it. So now I'm going to put that up there. Now, the logo usage, you're supposed to have this small s. On these, I like it bigger, and I don't know if it applies for sample labels or just social media stuff, but to me it's perfectly readable, and I wanted it bigger than that way littler one that we had, so I'm changing it. Alright, so now I'm going to refile, save, and it'll ask me to flatten. Make sure you change it to JPEG. Yes. Flatten, yes. Okay, so I resaved it with a bigger logo. Okay. Now I'm going to come back to Word. I'm going to click on that again. I'm going to delete it again, and I'm going to insert picture, caramel apple, insert. All right. So there's that. Now my box is a little bit too big, and I can move this box down to where it does fit. Alright, and let's grab this, and we're going to do, again, we're going to go down to wrap text in front of text, and that'll allow us to move this all the way over to the corner, okay? And then once we right click again, send to back, then click your box. And you're going to do that on every single one of these, okay? And you can do it all if you copy this box, right click, copy, you can come over here and just do paste the picture, and it'll put it in there. You'll still have to go back and right click them again and do the wrap text in front of picture, and so that you can move it over and it fits in the right spot on your template, okay? And then send it back every time so that you can see your text box again. And these text boxes you're going to have to move because this template is set up for my labels that I make, which look like these ones down here. So we're kind of phoning it in on how we're doing this to make it so we can use the layers templates instead of mine, which mine are very similar to the layers templates. So, but anyway, that's how you do it. Once you get that all done, you do file print, and you print them on your 2x4 labels. Hope that helps. Bye.